tell you what, we're hate watching is Secret Invasion, aren't we? I mean,
Oh my
I
God.
loved anything but the first episode. It was
The
all right.
second episode is just so god awful as well.
Do you know what? Can they just give the AI who did the opening credits the script for the next few episodes? They can't be any worse. Jesus.
Defo.
It's not about the script, it's about the right VFX studio.
Well, do you know what? Speaking of de-aging, minor spoilers, there's a de-aged Samuel L. in it for a brief stint, like a little 1995 flashback. Because at the start of the second episode, they basically recap everything that happens in Captain Marvel, because you can't remember what happens in Captain Marvel. I can't remember what happened. So we needed that. And then there's a little bit extra as well. And,
is that Jude Law in it?
Yeah. No. And they don't have him move around too much, so it looks quite good. And he doesn't have like the 80-year-old voice that Harrison Ford has. He kind of just has had the same voice for a very long time.
80 years.
Yeah, and so it still works.
And in the 90s, he actually looked older than he does now. So,
yeah.
Have you seen him in Patriot Games and Jurassic Park?
In Jurassic Park, okay, yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah,
terrible.
I think the problem with Secret Invasion is, on paper, it sounds great, but the reality of it is, it's a dour, grimly realistic spy thriller.
Well,
great. That's not a thriller. And it has none of the MCU magic, anything. It's got none of it. So it is exactly what it sets out to be. A dourly, miserable, conspiracy, mild drama.
But the conspiracy stuff doesn't work at all because there is no tension. Because every time they say, a Skrull could be anyone. And then they show you a picture of like, and here's someone in the news. It's like, well, they're a Skrull. Oh, it turns out they are. 2 seconds later. Not like, as I was watching the second episode, a couple of people, 3 people showed up. And I was like, a couple of episodes down the line, they're going to be a Skrull. Nope. 5 minutes later, they're a Skrull. They've got no interest in sustaining any tension whatsoever. They're just like, just set them up and knock him down. Set them up and knock him down. And it, oh my God, it's so boring.
I mean, it does. It just apparently next week we get to find out why there's no Avengers on the scene.
They don't want to get him in, but they don't want to make a big incident out of it, Mark. It's only a secret invasion.
You know what wouldn't surprise me is if bloody Sam Jackson came out and said, you know the reason why there's no Avengers here? Contract negotiations. Wouldn't bloody surprise me if that was the reason why they gave, because it's gritty and it's authentic. Piss off.
Every time someone shows up, you can say they're probably a Skrull, and you've got like, you'd probably be right. I mean,
it's a drinking game.
You'd be pissed by 10 minutes in.
Yeah, you get smashed on that game, and because they have no interest in sustaining, like, they might not be a Skrull. It's just, yes, they definitely are. Like, here is a new character. Yes, they definitely are. Here's an old character. They probably are too. Doesn't matter either way. I don't care.
But you know what I'm noticing more and more in the TV? It's this notion of the flashback. It's this notion of that they'll set a story off, and then suddenly the story will stop while you spend 1 or 2 episodes now looking back, and it's like, well, hang on. You left me over here. I want to know what's going on over here. I don't care about the flashback because I know obviously he doesn't die because he's here. Let's crack on over here. And this notion of fracturing the storytelling in the hands of people who do not know what to do with it just is the opposite of creating tension where there should be. And I've noticed that more and more. I'm so mad.
And then you've got, we talk about the problem with CG. They haven't got the problem with CG in this. They've got the problem with buffy ass looking green masks on everyone. It's absolutely awful. Like, you can tell their budget has been slashed. And
one of the locations for one of the key scenes in episode 2, it's an abandoned room above
in Russia,
in Brixton. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Says it all. Yeah. We're in the top room of a pub in Brixton.
And they're all like, oh, and these are the real hardcore Skrulls. These are the purely like, this is like Skrull nationalism. But they're all still going to look like humans because we can't afford makeup for everyone.
Oh, yes. So, yes, I am going to hate watch the rest of this.
Oh, yeah, I probably am
this
too.
Sounds great. This sounds great. I've only seen the first episode and you're really selling it to me, guys.
It could get better, but it won't.
But
Not
you
interested.
know what? Again, it did that first episode, and the first episode ended on a cliffhanger where you thought, okay, where's it going? And the second episode, half of it is a sodding flashback. I don't care. Sorry.
We get a bit of Olivia Colman in it again, so that was nice. But I think if you want to watch Olivia Colman cameos, just wait for The Bear to come out in the UK.
Yeah, Bear's great. Bear's great. And Olivia Colman's in the Bear.